Good evening. It's the 4th of October 2023 and I'm just going to go over my trades for today. On my screen is the MES daily, which is the futures chart, and we're currently looking at today's green day, this day here, and it was a pretty decent day. One thing I just wanted to go through is that we were in a daily downtrend, and a few days ago we came into this demand zone. It's red now because I changed it back to red yesterday when we broke through it, and it looked like we were setting up a bit of a flag pattern, and that did break as per we talked about it in the live videos in the, a couple days back, and it broke this flag pattern, came down into this demand zone, and then on the weekly I noticed there was a bit of an anomaly. Let's go into the weekly. So we had this wide range bar 2 weeks ago, and then last week we had this narrow range bar, but we had it on increased or above average volume, whereas the wider range bar, which should have had more volume, was on less volume. So this is a bit of an anomaly, and as you can see it's coming into this area as well, which I was kind of expecting it to come in and bounce, which I thought was what we was going to do that week. And last week we came in and we touched the 50 moving average on the weekly as well, and it looked like we were going to bounce out. But if you're going back to the daily, we broke down through that flag pattern. We also broke the actual, we closed below the 200 moving average. This is the 200 moving average coming up, so we closed below there yesterday, and it's looking more bearish, I think. But we have got this increase of volume as well, and one thing we've not seen yet is an ultra high volume bar, and that may indicate the end of the downtrend. And oh yeah, the hourly I want to go to as well, because there's something interesting in the hourly. So I covered it this morning briefly, and it might be relevant now. So that's where we are. We've come back up today, and we came close to retesting that 200 moving average, and we'll see where we're going to end up over the next few days. Whether this is just a fake out through the 200, we're going to bounce back up, or whether this is going to be significant. We've tested it and we're going to continue to move down. So let's go into the hourly, because it's something I wanted to point out. So this volume bar, I spoke about it earlier today in the live video. It's an ultra high volume bar, and it's a wide range bar, but we don't see volume bars like this normally. You know, the last couple of days we've seen an increase in volume, and generally something like that could indicate an end of a move, end in volume, where we've got lots of buyers and sellers fighting it out, even though there's a big selling candle there. But let's just go back and see whenever we had an ultra high volume bar as high as that. So the last time we had one was here, and that was in August, and when we had that volume bar we had a reversal, so it came in and we reversed. And then let's go back further to see when we had another volume bar. What I'm looking is the height of that volume bar, which is around about what's that, 3.5 million contracts, and this one here is that millions, I think it would be, yeah. So this one's coming into 4 million contracts sold on that day, and then we have to go back some time before we get any volume anywhere near 3 or 4 million. And then the last time was here, this candle here, and that was in March 2023, the beginning of the year, and that was also happens to be on a reversal. So it came in massive volume, and then we saw this big run up for the rest of the year. So on my mind today, that was playing on my mind today, thinking maybe we're starting to see a reversal. When we've had volume of this significance, volume of that significance previously has meant a reversal. So I went into the day with a slight long bias, which probably didn't set me up very well, and I'm going to go into why now. But look what we're seeing already. So Is this signifying a reversal? We came in, we faked, we poked through and came back up again. Potentially this could be a bottom we're just looking at now, but we won't know that until a few weeks time when we hopefully look back and say, hey, that was the bottom we was looking at. Why didn't we go long? Anyway, back into the 5-minute chart. Just on the subject of being long, I am long Qs at the moment. I'm actually using one of the derivatives, SQQ. I'm actually short SQQQ, which is I've got puts, which is a complicated, but it's a long position on SQ on the Qs. And I was just playing around with contracts. I was trying to find the cheapest contract the furthest out, and that happened to be the one I was looking at. And it's more of an experiment. I don't really play SQQs often, so I thought I'd see how that's going. So anyway, going back into, and it's in profit today as well, which is good. It did the contracts did actually go red slightly today, and I'm right at a break even. So let's go back into Qs. So it was at this point I came into the red, and when it came back down, because my break even, I got in there. In fact, when it broke up through, that's when I took the contracts, and it's been above this 50 moving average all this time. And when it came below here, I think it was here I was in the red, but it's back in the positive now. So we're going to see how we get on. My stop out is going to be if it breaks below there, but we haven't. It's looking a bit more stronger Qs and Nasdaq than ES and SPY, because instead of putting in an equal or double bottom, it's put in a higher low. So we'll see if we can break through this 200 tomorrow and the next day. We might see a bit of a move up, and hopefully that'll be a good swing trade. Anyway, back onto the 5-minute chart for the MES. Going into 9:30 this morning. I didn't trade until the market had opened. So my first trade was, I was trying to go for a break and retest, and it was off this daily level, came down, and it was a bad trade anyway. And I thought we were going to break this top, so I got in. It was there on the first 5. No, in fact, it was when it came back down to that area there. It came up, and my target was this area here and potentially up here. That's what I was waiting for, 4,300 area. And I took a little bit of profit, but then I let it go against me, and I saw these topping tails. I didn't like it, so I got out. And I was out, and I did try another bounce. Where was it? I think I tried off the VWAP. I thought if it's above the VWAP, then, you know, everyone else is probably looking at it. And I went long, and it stopped me out. So I was a bit in the red there. So that's fine. So I kind of in the green, but slightly close to break even. And then the next place I was trying, I saw this bottom come in, touched the level perfectly, and I missed that totally, which is a bit annoying, because that's the level I was waiting for, 42.53. But instead I waited for it to come back down again, and then I noticed it was a higher low as well, and potential reverse of trend, which you can see it was, and I got in just about there. And it was a good trade. I think I got out. I saw it touch the 50, came back out, and I was all out, or out of all of my contracts about there. And then I entered. I went back in here, and what I was doing, it looked like a flag pattern setting up. So I took a little bit of profit initially, but when it came back, I added, and I added, and I added again, and then I got this. The market stopped me out. Look at that. I got played by the market perfectly. So this wicked me out just there, and so I instantly got back in again, and I'm so glad I did, because then boom, came right up to my target level. So this is the target I was waiting for, so I got out, and that was great. And then I still held some, and I was trying to find some adds, because my next target was 4,300, that area, and so I added on the pullback, and I added again on the pullback. I didn't take any profit, which is silly. Added again on so I was a little bit oversized by this point, and I was expecting it to put in a new high and at least come back and make a double top or something, and it went against me. So all my gains from these trades here were wiped out largely by all of these. In fact, I was in the red by this point, so bad trading. So weren't particularly pleased with it, but I was not one to give up. So I waited, and I eventually saw this come in, a little mini head and shoulders, and I got in as we broke over the 50 moving average, and it was above the VWAP. In fact, I got in when we came down on that one there for this move, anticipated the move up, and I added just there. And this is more to break even for the day. And my out was, in fact, it came into this little area here, and I saw this red bar, and I got out just there. So I took one up there and one down there, and so I was out of my position. And obviously it had a bit more movement to go. 4,300. I should have waited for 4,300, but this got me back to break even. So that was it. That was me done for the day. However, I did do one more trade, and that was on oil. And if you remember from my daily videos, I've been saying I'm watching for the pullback, and look at that. That's one hell of a pullback today. Look at that for a big red day. The area I've been waiting to go for a long time is this area here. In fact, last week I moved my my level. It was set to here, 84. I think it's 84, 88. I think it was, or it might be 84, 87. Rings a bell. So that's the area I had it set at, just there. And in the end, I changed my mind. I can't remember the reason. It goes back months and months why I chose that area. I changed my mind on that, and I thought, right, instead I'm going to get when it comes into this area here. So this is the area I'm really waiting for, a retest of that area. And I said today, if it comes into, and don't forget today when we were talking, it was up here looking like it's going to carry on in the trend. And I said, if we get down to this 50 moving average, I'm probably going to take an intraday or a swing trade at that point. And I really want to take a swing trade that gets down to this level. And let's go back into the 5-minute chart. So the 50 moving average was at $84. So back on the 5-minute chart, and if you see $84 is this area here. And so when it came in, I waited for confirmation, and I took a small contract. My first entry was a bit late because it was putting in a high. I don't know why I shouldn't have taken it, because I really should have waited for it to come back and do something like that. But I went in there thinking that we're going to break out and get back to the 50 or back to the VWAP, because it's a big move down. And at the time I saw this high volume as well. It looked like ending volume as well. So, you know, volume wise it looked good, but trade wise there was no real confirmation other than it's the first proper green bars we've seen all day. It's just been a red day grinding down, but it's down at a level I was waiting for, and it was on the 50 moving average on the daily. So that's the reason I took it. There's a few reasons for it. And then as soon as I got in, it pulled back against me, so I added a couple more times there for this double bottom. So I was in a small position there, and I got in a little bit heavier at the bottom for this double bottom, and it turned out to be one of my best trades today. And my out was there. I stuck with my targets this time. I said last time I didn't get to my target, so the target hit, and I took a little bit off on the red bar there, and then my last out was pretty much that high on, hang on, where was it, zoom in, it was before the market closed. Oh, I thought that was pre-market. Look how the volume just drops off at 2:30 Eastern time. I thought I was looking at pre-market for post-market volume, but yeah, so my last out was on that pivot there, so pretty much a decent trade. I think it's that pivot there I took it out on, and so that's a good trade, and that actually made my day green. If it wasn't for this trade, I probably would have ended up red. So good day, really good day trade. Well, poor day trading, but good day psychologically, because it was a green day. And there's another green. That's 3 green days in a row now. Monday, even though I didn't trade, I didn't do a video Monday. I didn't trade because I was really unwell, and I went to bed just after the market opened. but I couldn't resist it and I took a quick scalp Monday, and it was a very small position, went green instantly, so I closed my position and shut down for the day. But probably shouldn't have traded, but it's one of those setups where I've seen before and I just wanted to take a quick short on it, and that's all I did. I could barely see the screen, to be honest, and so I don't recommend trading when you're not very well. But it's 3 green days in a row, starting to get pretty consistent now. I'm still liking oil. Where can we go from oil? We can potentially see a bit of a bounce on this level. If we can come back down to this demand zone, then that might be a great swing trade, and potentially we've got this area as a potential swing trade as well, because it's quite a area where we couldn't. It used to be the ceiling, and then it broke through still the ceiling, and now in theory it should be the floor. We should at least test it a few times, and we've got highly concentrated volume in that area as well. So this is an area of lots of volume. Anyway, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button, and I will see you tomorrow at 9 AM Eastern Time, or here in the UK it's 2 PM for the live pre-market, and I'll go through my levels, and you can see, just quickly go over the levels today. If I just stuck to my levels today only, I would have been green immediately. So the levels that work today, you could loosely say this daily level, but it's only a region. But if you took this yellow line, the daily level, but if you took it with confirmation, you could have profited on that one, you could have profited on that trade. Definitely this area here, and definitely the retrace, because the area at the bottom, look at that, it came right into that level at 42.53.75. 42.54 is probably the area, and then it came back to the edge of the demand zone as well. So that's 2 levels down there it came into, came back up, and look at this. Like I said, it came into the very top of this supply zone, 42.92, and you could argue and say that this area here it was going up above and below that area as well. So it just these levels give you a rough idea of where the play should be. But if you were to take this short, you could have taken a position there and then waited for it to confirm, and then a break of that area down, or a retest, which you can see there for the nice move down. And then obviously these levels are never that great on the second attempt. They went straight through it, but look at this, 43.05, 50 was a level, and we made it all up to 43.04, so close. And had you just put a couple of limit orders up there, maybe one just below, one on, and one just after, the likelihood of you coming in, triggering 1 or 2 or even 3 orders and then bouncing down is pretty high. So these levels, and they're all based on the hourly time frame as well, not the 5 minute, are pretty solid, and it's worth tuning in every day just to watch these, just to see what the levels are, and then see how it can, and then just look at it again at the end of the day and see how close the levels got. But you can just look from here, and the hourly, there's a few more levels now to get rid of, but you got that level there was significant, that level was significant, this level was significant, and that level significant, maybe that area, possibly a break and retest of this level significant, that level there was because it came up and touched it. And today, look at that, right into that level there, and the bottom of this demand zone, and areas there, came up to the top of the demand zone, couldn't break it, then it came down and broke through it and came back and retested it again. So it works pretty well, and levels are great, and it's a great way of trading, especially when you know where your supply and demand zones are, because then you know where the heavier concentrated areas of volume are, and potential resistance or support, which then if you put some levels in, support and resistance levels, it backs up the supply demand or this demand zone, and you know you've probably got a bit of a backup with higher than normal concentrated volume and a potential area where it could bounce. But yeah, levels are great and stress free as well, because a lot of my orders, I already know what levels I'm taking long before I start trading, because these levels are in place. These levels have been in place for weeks, and some of them have been there for months. And it's just nice knowing that if I get to 4,300, then I've got an order in place to go short. Or if I get down to 42.50, then I want to go long. And if you had those orders in place, you could have got that a few times. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to go and have my dinner now. It's 10 PM, a bit late for dinner, so a small snack. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.